I'm sure you heard the conversation I was having with my colleague Stuart over here. Let me just ask you your take on the ICC judgment yesterday and whether you think it's going to have broader ramifications.
Well, first, on the actual move by the prosecutor, I would very much support and endorse what President Biden said. And I would also say it's one of the reasons the United States has not been, and I think will not be anytime soon, a member country in the International Criminal Court. It's not only highly politicized as a process, but it is just plain wrong to equate the actions of Israel's leadership, democratically elected leadership, however much I may disagree with them, with a terrorist leader in Yahya Sinwar, who is single-handedly responsible for everything that has happened since October 7th, because of what he executed, how he executed, and the heartless way he is treating the civilian population of Gaza while he hides deep in tunnels underground.
What about the charges leveled against the Israeli Prime Minister with respect to hampering the supply of humanitarian assistance into the Gaza Strip?
Again, I have big issues with those charges. I do not think there's a factual basis for them. While you can believe, as I do, that not enough aid has gone in by any means for Palestinians in Gaza, and also see it as wildly incorrect to charge the leader of Israel in the ICC with purposely causing famine. I point out a couple things on this. First, one of my former positions was working to get maximum amounts of goods and assistance into Gaza pre-conflict in President Biden's and President Obama's administration. And it is not an easy task to do so without having a large amount off the top taken by Hamas. And this was in the 2010, 2011, 2012 period, when they were frankly probably taking a good percentage of the concrete, for example, that was going in to build their tunnels. So it's not an easy job. And I would say on top of that, we have reports that the assistance that the U.S. is first trying to get in from its offshore peer has met with a huge amount of difficulty as well. And it is not, it would not be surprising to me for Hamas to be behind that.
Clear from your perspective. Let me just ask you about the other things that are occurring in the Middle East right now. There is a lot going on. And of course, we had the shocking accident and death of President Raisii over the weekend. Let me ask you if you think the change of the president, the changing of the guard within Iran is going to have broader ramifications on the region as well. How do you see the change in leadership in Iran at the presidential level likely to impact some of the relationships within the Middle East?
Well, listen, everybody throughout the world, not just in the Middle East, is watching and will continue to be watching very closely the transition that is occurring in Iran. And it is less about, I believe, expecting a significant change in the type of leader. We know that that the president who was killed in this helicopter crash, President Raisi, was very conservative, was very likely being groomed to take over for the supreme leader. So the supreme leader, Khomeini, is 85 years old. So there is a need, and I think he probably recognizes the need to appoint someone who can be his successor or can be groomed for that role. There's a lot of rumors now that that may well be his son, who was probably one of the candidates he was looking at in addition to the president before that. And it will certainly need to be someone who is agreed to by Iran's Revolutionary Guard that perpetrates a lot of its horrendous actions through the region. But it's at a time of also tremendous political instability inside Iran and political challenges. So again, the world will be watching closely. Do not expect a difference in the nature or tone of the person succeeding, but it is a time of great instability.
Many people are saying that we will likely look to get a continuity candidate simply because the supreme leader will pick someone who eventually will be on the pathway to become supreme leader himself. Another story, again, that we're watching, there's so much going on here, is the state of King Salman's health in Saudi Arabia. He's been admitted to hospital, and there's lots of speculation about the state of his health. I do wonder what you think his passing, should it come to happen, what that would mean for the calculus of the region, especially given all of these reports that Saudi Arabia very close to inking a defense deal with the U.S. and a potential pathway to normalization with Israel.
So King Salman has been in ill health for some period of time. I think in back and forth degrees. But some of King Salman's health issues, really from the time I think very close to the time he ascended to the top position, have led to some of the very strong positioning of the Crown Prince, one of his many sons, but the most faithful son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And so MBS, as he is known, has really been in a position of strong leadership of Saudi Arabia, short of being the king, for some period of time. And so I would expect and anticipate that all the conversations that have been occurring thus far, most of which have been through Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, would continue. And I would think there also great continuity, though I would note that it is a real passing of the generational leadership of Saudi Arabia in a very significant way should King Salman pass.